If your CFO asks you right now, what pipeline will we generate if I give you another 100K next quarter? Could you answer that with actual data, or would you just be guessing? Here's the reality. Most B2B marketing teams don't have enough data to accurately forecast. You can report what happened last quarter, but you can't predict what will happen next quarter. So when budget planning comes around, you're just making educated guesses at best. And when those guesses are wrong, your budget gets cut. I'd wager that's not a strategy problem, that's a data problem. Let me show you how we solve this exact problem at Directive. Our SVP of Operations, Seilhan, is going to walk you through Stratos' forecasting engine, an engine built on mixed media modeling that pulls data from dozens of B2B clients to give you predictive power that you can't build on your own. Jesse, show them how it works.
Thank you, Isaiah. I am stoked to be here to show you the forecasting tool here at Stratos. How do you answer that question? What if I gave you more budget? What would you do with it? The coolest thing about forecasting tools in Stratos is that you can actually answer that question with confidence. We're going to run you through a couple scenarios today, but I do recommend going back and watching our LTV CAC video because that will explain some of the foundational elements that informs this data. But let's make it easy. What if you get that question? What if I add an additional 100K, 50K, double your budget? What if I cut your budget? What's going to happen to what we're seeing in our platforms? So let's make it easy, right? So we have here my monthly marketing budget, my customer lifetime value. And as a quick reminder, in the configure section here, you can actually go through and set your order value, your margin, your lifespan, things like that. So some of the initial data we do in the setup process will inform all of this, both your costs and when we get to conversion rates, some of that stuff as well. So let's increase our budget. Let's go from 53.7 to 75. Let's go crazy. Let's do $100,000 a month. Love to see it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to change one thing, $100,000, and I'm going to run this forecast real quick. And what you're going to see on this screen is going to be a trailing 6-month performance and a forecasted 6-month forward performance. And what Stratos is telling me, and we'll get to the data as to why, that we should see an 80% lift in total bookings if we increase our budgets to that amount. Cool on its face, but let's get into some of the details. It'll actually give us conversions by month, and we'll get into why it believes that. So we can forecast not just what will happen, but when it will happen. We'll also understand where the optimal budget allocation is on a channel by channel basis. And that's going into our historical data to understand which channels are really hitting, which channels hit the most in certain seasons, things like that. And we can go even deeper down the funnel to understand, well, what does this mean for opportunities, for deals closed, for leads, our average customer acquisition cost, all of those things. The coolest thing is that we can save this and we can say, you know what, this is my 100K scenario. And I'm going to go back to the scenario whenever I want to pull this up. But when I talked about seasonality before, we actually have that baked in. We have the seasonality effects of this account and of this data set to show you that, hey, April and October are when we're doing the best. And maybe we pull back some budget in the summertime when people aren't as busy out there shopping. It's going to be different for you. It's going to be different per sector. But we want to show what that looks like so it impacts the data accurately. We also show the curves that are accounted for in each of the ad channels, because as much as we would love doubling the budget to be, up and to the right from a performance standpoint, it is up and to the right, but there's a curve, and we try to factor that into our data as well. So we have the 100K scenario, we've saved it. We can actually go back at any time and pull that up. I have a 75K one that I've saved here as well. It's really easy to go back and check the stuff out. Now, if you get back to the section at any time, if you're playing with your budget and you're like, wait a minute, what was it again? You can hit use actuals and I'm back to my numbers. So same thing, if you go to impressions to engage, if for whatever reason you think, you know what, we're launching a new video strategy this quarter, we think we're going to drive a lot more demand, we can double that number and see what happens. We think we got a new sales team in, a new pitch process, something like that, our opt to close one rate should increase, or we see it trending and we want to see what the ultimate end state is. We can change that number and look at the forecast. And then we're going to be having these different scenario models that take into account things like what industry you're in and other factors to be able to apply it to all of the data that we've gathered over the last few years across our portfolio to make it more customized to you. So I'm stoked about forecasting. It's no longer this spreadsheet and a headache and a complicated process. You can play with it. It's real. You can tweak the numbers and find out what you're looking for. So back to you, Isaiah. Bye.
So Jesse showed you how to forecast pipeline with actual data and not guesses. You saw seasonality insights, channel allocation recommendations, and a prediction range for conversions and bookings. That's the kind of answer your CFO actually trusts. If you want to see Stratos forecast your pipeline the same way, using a custom model built for your industry, click the link below and let's stop guessing and start planning.